The Hiplife article is still on the Grammy site. It's not been taken down. Despite them being mentioned. Yeah, the Apro and them being mentioned by key stakeholders in the Hiplife genre. That is Tic Tac, Stonebwoy, and even Kwao Kese at a certain point in time mentioned the Recording Academy and said that the document or the article on their website is half dose. Let me, if I can have some small minutes to say my mind on this. I think the writer should be called out. I sent him a DM requesting that he comes out for us to have a conversation on this. In the initial stages, the conversation was more of an artist who doesn't belong in a category, forcing himself to be in a category.
Very, very bad.
What is bad?
Forcing himself.
That is how the conversation picked up in the initial stages. However, if we are to look at the article itself and try to see how well written and how well it represented our history, then I will raise these questions. 10 essential artists to Ghanaian hip life. A music genre that spans over 30 years or is 30 years as we speak. My defense for the writer would be that certain artists were captured under certain sound revolution or music revolution during the same hip life era. That is where you will see a Reggie Rockstone having a major block in there. I will feel that under Reggie Rockstone, we might have the FOKM boys, that is Mensa from the FOKM boys being captured in there. Under, let's say, Obrafour, I will feel that the Psy Lovers were captured under there. Under even Reggie Rockstone, I will feel that the Native Funk Lords were captured under Reggie Rockstone and the influence that Reggie Rockstone brought to hip life. I will also say that maybe Okofor Kwade and the rest were captured under, let's say, VIP. Or the Tic Tacs were captured under VIP. Fair enough, it makes a lot of sense. Miss Bell has a slot in there. Maybe I'll say Kunti Hine was captured under the Miss Bell sound and the revolution that it came with. You understand? I have no problem with any of them. However, if we are talking with respect to this, capturing sounds under revolution 30 years down the line, then I would want to look at the last one. That is the Asaka Boys. The last but two. That is the Asaka Boys, of which we would all say that they also changed the course of hip life, the sound that it came with. But then right after Asaka Boys, there's Black Sheriff, of which I believe that his sound was, in fact, clearly influenced by the Asaka Boys. So why does he have a major block in there? Why does he?
His picture is the featured image.
Is the featured image. Okay. Let's go on. The last artist on it is Kimpaluta. We can say, in fact, we can play all his songs and then we know that his influence is quite different. So if he has a slot in there, I don't mind. Now, let me get back to the introduction of it, of which Stonebwoy made mention in the podcast with Portfolio. The introduction of the article says, in the 1990s, artists and producers from Accra merged the sound and aesthetics of American hip-hop and their Ghanaian sound and culture, the resulting genre, hip life, significantly influencing the music from Ghana and the African continent. Now, in Stonebwoy's case, Stonebwoy is saying that, Charlie, it's like you are talking about the sound of Ghana and you want to hide behind hip life. But why are you doing that if the artist, number 9 artist, and before, let me just issue this disclaimer so that we don't sound as if, or I don't sound as if I have a personal issue with any artist. We might have issue, but we are having an intellectual discourse this morning. So you can join us on Facebook and then let us know your thoughts, and we will read it loud on radio. In fact, we are not going to edit it. We'll read it as it is. So if you are talking about Ghanaian sound, there's a current artist of the year. This is according to Stonebwoy, whose sound rides on the existence or the bedrock of his sound is on hip life. Hold on. Because if you don't agree, Kwame Dazi, if you don't agree to that, then it will nullify other reggae dancehall artists whose names were captured in. So hold on, let me finish. Is my
mic on?
Your mic?
I'm talking to.
Let me put it off. You can't talk to Adam. We're having a conversation here. You can't talk to Adam. Kwame Dazi. According to Stonebwoy, he believes that if it's on the stage of Hiplife, he believes his sound had the bedrock of Hiplife. So he should be mentioned in there. Number one. Two, is the article progressive? Because I had a personal conversation with Stonebwoy and I did an editorial on Street is Watching. I had a personal conversation with Stonebwoy. In fact, three times over the weekend. I think on Friday, Nana Kwame were there when Stone called. So, 3 different sets of conversation. I still maintain my stand that if it's a conversation on Hiplife, you identified yourself from 2006 with your first song, that was Makuma, which is a purely reggae song. So on that level, you do not even qualify. And also, you do not even identify yourself as a reggae and dancehall, as a Hiplife artist. You don't identify yourself. But guess what? So does Black Sheriff. Unless you want to tell me that he's been on a platform where he talks about the fact that he's a Hiplife artist. So what is he doing there? We need to call the writer out. He needs to come out and explain some of these things. Because we can't have, and apparently, I'm not going to talk about his age, but then he's a 26-year-old boy, that's what I've heard, trying to document a music genre that is older than him without proper due diligence. Because, TikTok came out to talk about it, right? Now, this one, you're telling me about the fact that in 1995, TikTok had a song with Azigiza. That is 1995. 1995.
But his name is captured in there.
Azigiza.
No, TikTok.
No, but where is Azigiza? Medowabena. Do you want me to play it?
No. But wait. Let him. He's doing his editorial.
I'm doing my editorial. Hold on.
When is done?
Do you want us to play Azigiza's Medowabena right now?
Don't play it. We know.
You know.
Yeah.
So where is Azigiza in here?
Okay.
Slim Basta is not even captured in there. So the writer needs to come out.
Okay.
And explain to us. As much as you might not agree with Stonebwoy, Stonebwoy also has a point saying that it's looking more or less like you want to capture the true state of Ghanaian sound. Need I read the second paragraph again? Mami caught second one also. And that one will finalize everything for us. Now, the second paragraph says, in fact, the first paragraph, say the first one was the preface and prelude. First one says, Ghana has been home to some of the most recognizable musical exports from the African continent, contributing heavily to the globalization and development of the continent's sound. Whilst High Life is regarded as the country's biggest sonic export, the introduction of Hiplife some 30 years ago invigorated the Ghanaian music scene and birthed some of the country's most important artists. Omunye, 10.
Can we talk now? Or you're not done still?
No, me.
Okay.
10 nini.
Okay.
So is Stonebwoy wrong to vent that it's like you want to talk about the whole Ghanaian sound, but you want to hide behind Hiplife and take some out. He doesn't understand. And he said something in the podcast with Portfolio that he understands this industry. We live in an industry where there are people who intentionally can malign you or sideline you when they are pushing a certain agenda. That it is true. I'm here. I'm this one. I'm not here to do defense for Stonebwoy or anything, but I feel the writer did not do the necessary, background on Hiplife in the first place, and this whole uproar on social media is as a result of a half-dosed article. I do not side with Stonebwoy. If the whole document is on Hiplife, I will repeat. If the document is on Hiplife and he wants to be a part of it. So himself and any other artist in there who have not identified themselves as Hiplife artists should be taken out. I arrest
your case.
My case.
This is Hits.